Oh, get her rolling, Brown. We're ready.
It's our we're ready. We're ready right now. We're rolling right now as we
Oh, I
speak.
didn't even know that. Shit.
I know.
Bill, I'm in
My
the
bad.
mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect.
I don't think so,
I
dude.
was gonna say.
I think we will.
Because well, that's one I found on a non-copyright, but it wasn't on.
I know, but that sounded kind of like a catchy tune that might get claimed. That's what I worry about. It sounded kind of.
Yeah, hey, start with the first carousel on top. That's the beginning one. No, the very first one.
This one?
Very first scene on top.
I was.
Top.
Slideshow.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at my computer. Sorry.
We got to fucking direct and fucking the show at the same time.
I'm like a backseat driver over here, you know?
He's directed shit back there.
It's like, quit backseat driving, motherfucker!
He's direct.
Yeah.
We'll figure out a better way someday to be able to communicate with each other. I think if you brought your phone down, we could text each other.
Yeah, or we could do the little string with the little cups.
Or Betty, I'd have your booth set up where you can face one another.
Yeah, we had it like that at one time. It was nice.
Because I know you guys do it on separate tables there, and I guess you're facing the same area there, or no?
No. This is one big desk, bro.
It's a big U desk.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big giant U, man. It's fucking nice.
It's like a horseshoe.
Yep.
Oh, I've never been in the Legends Lounge, so I don't really know that much there.
You know what? We need to do a nice behind-the-scenes video sometime of it and upload it so everybody can see what's really going on.
I see. Yeah. All right. All right. So, shall we
like that?
Yeah. What's up?
Oh, he's just looking at the thumbnails I made.
A bunch of the slideshow. What I didn't see.
Yeah, I made 3 slideshows for our show tonight for Metallica and stuff.
Yeah, well, actually, I already have my thumbnail up there, as you could probably see right now on my channel.
Shit,
Yeah.
I gotta get yours up.
Yeah. You know, I like to put up the abstract photos of bands and particular people and such there. So,
Right.
I always been known to do that on Facebook and on Twitter as well. So I figure, I do it on YouTube as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
give us something a little bit different there.
So, are you streaming on Facebook too right now?
No, I'm just. I hear.
Hang on.
Hang on. I see now.
All right. I had to get your stream up.
Okay, yeah.
So I can read your chat.
Okay, and I'm really looking at it right now. So far, so good. No one's put anything in there. So, right. All right,
you know what? The only thing I was a little bit worried about is I noticed lately the last couple streams you've been doing, they've been lagging on you.
I know. I think what it is the problem is I often enlarge the photo so I can cover all of the section where I put the thumbnail in, and I think that may be an issue because a lot of times when I go to the YouTube Studio page, the tab I meant, it usually says things like, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming and all that stuff, or your video image is too wide. Because I have a tendency to enlarge the photo so it fit the whole entire screen on the OBS. And I think that possibly may be one of the big reasons why. So I'm leaving the thumbnail as it is right now. So to see how it works. And so far it's not lagging, thank goodness.
Because I noticed when it was lagging that one time, and then you started up a part 2 and it was perfect.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think that had been to do. I think that, like I said, may have had something to do with that. So I'm going to probably, from now on, just, fit is not so much into the space there where the image is supposed to be shown, but keep it as, keep it where it's supposed to be. Because as I mentioned, a lot of times, a lot of images I put up there tend to lag, make the stream lag a little bit there. So I'm seeing how this one works out.
I see. I see.
All right. So As you know, folks, as you can tell by the description at the title here, we're doing our salute to Metallica, the Mighty Met, as they were often referred to as on by radio stations and programmers. And they often have at times, one station back in Detroit had a 3 by Metallica at 10 p.m. Eastern time. 3 of them, the Mighty Met, blah, 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 and all that good stuff. And probably so, because Metallica, as we know, is one of the biggest bands out there, emerging from the early thrash metal scene from the 1980s, emerging on to today's standards, being the top-notch, as Alon E. Friend from Rip Magazine used to say, the Led Zeppelin of this generation, and they have definitely achieved that as well. Now, you mentioned that this past Monday, it was Metallica, the last Metallica Mondays on both Facebook and YouTube. You mentioned, guys?
Yeah, they did 22 straight weeks, and this was the last week of it, man, which kind of sucks.
All right.
It couldn't be 42. 42. It had to be 22.
Yeah.
I think Metallica, they had this all planned out of what they were gonna do. I think they had it planned for 22 weeks.
Yeah, I believe so, for a while.
Because last week they decided to go on the Howard Stern show all of a sudden, right?
Yes. I remember there were lots of clips of that on YouTube as well, and on Facebook.
I think that they were planning that part too, and then they made that concert. They recorded that special concert that's going to be available in the drive-in theaters, I think, on the 28th of this month. So I think they had all this shit figured out of what they were going to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was almost like there was a big plan, like, oh, we'll go on Howard Stern after we make the concert, and they're going to plug the shit out of it. You know what I mean?
Yes, I remember. So I was thinking about this, as you saw the WWE Thunderdome, right? How it's set up there where fans can sign up and watch the show up front from the comfort of their own homes. I'm beginning to think maybe bands like Metallica, Kiss, Motley Crue, you think they should be able to do the same thing, but instead of being signing up for free, they should be charged a certain amount of money. Not too much money. I mean, come on, But they should be, like, say, $17 per ticket or to watch, I guess.
Well, how many of them have a Thunderdome, though? I mean, what did that cost the WWE to build that, I wonder?
Yeah, that's a good question there,
I bet it was. It looks like to me it was a multi-million-dollar setup. It was
most likely.
You know what I mean? They basically set that Thunderdome up, for doing what they're gonna do, and it's like virtual reality almost.
I know, it's like yeah, but in a lot of ways, I know sure the wrestlers at the WWE, they're probably more happier because now they have an audience to work with instead of those selective few, those other WWE and NXT personalities behind that big transparent wall that they had and out in the stands up there with the mask on and shit. I'm sure pretty much they're happy now with the crowd. Once again, even though it's not virtually there, it is just they're watching from home, but still there's interaction between the two.
Plus, you could hear them.
Yes,
their sound was piped into the arena.
Yeah, I know. I was able to hear that as well. I thought at first it was one of those setups where they have recorded boos, recorded cheers, and that, but then they mention, oh no, it's a good idea that the WWE is doing because let's face it, doing their shows at the Performance Center and nothing else but that, it was getting kind of boring there. Now, can we see AEW do the same thing, or the NWA pretty soon doing the same thing if they had the money?
The NWA ain't going to do it. AEW might do it, but the NWA is on hold right now.
I know, yeah. Well, at least...
And you know what else? A lot of the guys from fucking the NWA are fucking going over to fucking AEW.
I know, yeah. Ricky Starks, like Cole Cabana, Kingston, yeah. Eddie Kingston.
And then you got Thunder Rosa over there. She had the NWA belt with her, but now she wants to challenge the women's champion over there in AEW.
Wow.
Plus, you got the Rock and Roll Express over there too, dude.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
well, of course, but a lot of ways you can't really blame them. They got to earn their paycheck somehow.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just see a lot of the NWA going over there, and I hope they just sign like small contracts.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
Or temporary contracts until the NWA gets going again.
I hope they didn't lose them all because of the coronavirus.
Yeah, you cannot say that. I've said it many times before. We now owe 2019 a huge ass apology.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So actually, it's kind of funny. We're talking about Metallica. They did a lot of shows. They must have taped every show during every one of their tours. God knows, because damn, they have for how many 24 weeks. They always had this one show here, this show recorded there from this year, that year. The best one you were talking about was the one recorded back in 1983 when Kill 'Em All first came out.
Yeah, that they were. What were they, like fucking 19 years old or something like that?
Either 20s or something like that. In their prime,
They were fucking young as fuck, man.
I know, yeah.
I liked the one at Yankee Stadium last week. That one was probably one of my more favorite ones.
Yeah,
I
nice.
enjoyed that. I enjoyed that one. I didn't happen to catch the last one yet from last night yet, but I will.
I know. I think it was from Mexico City. I did catch a little bit here or there. I did watch it a lot of times, but then again, I stopped because after a while, you kind of get tired of hearing the same Seek and Destroy, the same Sad But True after a long while. I just hear the same songs over and over. It'll be nice to do some songs from Load, Upload, Reload. I'm getting tongue-tied here. And the other stuff from, let's say, the Black Album, like The God That Failed. I'd like to hear that song. I like the title of that one there. It'd be nice to hear them.
The thing is they got different concerts, and sometimes they play rare songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's true.
They don't always. I mean, they play a lot of their big hits, but they go through, and they'll have rare songs that they play. Like, they don't play them very often. You know what I mean?
That is true. Yes. Son. It was special. Go ahead.
I would like to have I seen this thing, right, where they played like the whole Kill 'Em All album, but it was all songs from different concerts that were live.
Oh yeah, that's what they got that on YouTube. They actually did that back in Detroit in 2013 for the Orion Festival at Belle Isle, over there by Detroit. What they did is they also did I guess a secret show at St. Andrews Hall under a different name, where they just posed as a band paying tribute to Metallica, playing Kill 'Em All in its entirety. It turns out it was Metallica themselves.
Oh yeah, that secret concert. They were underneath another band name.
Yes, I think it's Delane. I think it was, if I'm correct.
Yeah, and they came up on stage and they were kind of laughing about it. They called themselves whatever, and it was like a secret thing. Like they weren't going under Metallica, and all of a sudden it was Metallica.
Yeah, and they did the same thing during the festival the next day. Yeah, with all those people. So that was a trip.
Yeah, they tricked them. You know what I mean?
But it was a good trip because who wouldn't love a big surprise by the Mighty Men? And let's say your high school or St. Andrews Hall or the Shelter underneath. Gosh, I miss St. Andrews Hall. I used to go love that place, man. Especially the Shelter. I remember back then. Now, Metallica, as we know, God, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, the Black Album. As you know, that album turned 29 years old this month here.
Wow.
If you didn't know. It came out back, of course, in the summer of 1991. Enter Sandman was the first single from it, and their most massive song from that record, along with Nothing Else Matters, Sad But True, Wherever I May Roam. It was then when I first heard it, I was like, holy cow, they sound a lot different on this record here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you could tell the difference between the old shit, how they sounded when they were old, when they were real young, and how they progressed over time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But then it comes with other bands like say Iron Maiden or Public Enemy. You know, they start out in their kindergarten phase and they grow to become the hip hop version of the Clash. You know, and they just emerge into their own identity. And they often need a producer to make that identity so correct. And I guess when I understand Bob Rock, you know, when he met the members of the group, he said, you know, you never had an album that sounded like what you sound when you perform live.
Right.
So that's what he achieved with that record there. Years later, that album still one of the top 4 selling albums next to Bob Marley, Pink Floyd, and I guess some other artists I forgot. Son of a bitch, but the top 4. It's one of the, but up there, it's still up there, still played on the radio to this very day. Even played on alternative rock stations.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember hearing there was this one station out of Windsor, Canada. I think it was called 89X. I think they're still functioning there. They would play either Sad But True, Enter Sandman, and a lot of stuff from that album, especially Nothing Else Matters.
Huh.
And when you think about it, Metallica would consider the alternative type of metal because they didn't sing about headbanging your head against the wall, about getting laid, you know, smoking blunts or smoking weed or getting high, getting drunk. They sing about a lot of issues. I mean, like, they sing about, you know, death. They sing about, you know, things from the apocalypse. They sing about creeping death, which was, by the way, taken from the Ten Commandments storyline there. If you know the lyrics, what I'm talking about. Yes. I mean, that song was based on the story that this plague would come and kill the firstborn son of whichever family did not have lamb's blood painted on their door. And that song was also from the viewpoint of the creeping death itself.
From the Bible.
Yes, correctly. It was. You look it up in the movie, The Ten Commandments, and in the Bible as well. You see what I'm talking about there.
Yeah, where the mist comes around and fucking comes house to house, and whoever doesn't have lamb's blood around their door jams, the firstborn boy would be taken from them.
Yes, correct. You know, it happened with the Pharaoh as well.
Yep, Pharaoh's son died.
Yeah, I remember, yeah. If you know what I'm talking about, go check out the Ten Commandments movie. It is a all-time classic. The special effects in that movie was headed their prime back then.
Like when Moses' cane turns into a snake?
Mm-hmm. Yep, and when Moses was able to part the ocean left and right so him and his crew can pass on through without perishing.
Yep. That was a pretty good scene.
It was. It was like, and as a kid looking at that on TV, it's like, holy shit, dude, wow. All right, so when did you first heard about Metallica, guys?
90.
1990?
Yep.
Year before the Black Album, obviously.
Yeah, well, the first cassette tape that I had was Garage Days by Metallica.
Their little covers EP that released it between 86 and 88, between Injustice and Master.
Yep. So it must have been maybe 88 because I got it. You remember when they had cassette tapes?
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Yep. I started my collection on cassette tapes, and yep.
Yeah. Dude, the first time I heard of Metallica was back in 1983 when Kill Wall first came out. There was this radio station out of Warren, Michigan. It was based out of a high school. I still remember the callers, WPHS. And a lot of times in the afternoon on weekdays, they would play all this new thrash stuff like Exodus, Merciful Fate, Accept, Iron Maiden. Not the tracks that they play on the radio. Of course, metal at that time wasn't getting any airplay. They would play stuff from the album Kill 'Em All. The first song I heard from them was the song Metal Militia.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And that record was one of the big raging talks that they at the excuse me, at the high school I was going to at that time. Everybody was talking about this record. Everybody's talking about Ride the Lightning, which came out the year later. And of course, I remember hearing the song Fade to Black being played on the radio at that time. And it was like, holy cow, this is something. It was like it had this eerie, it sounded very eerie to listen to. And I was taken back by the lyrics at first because, you know, they were talking about someone actually wanting to commit suicide. It's like, holy shit, is this, they're going to probably get in trouble for this song. It turns out they were questioned about it a couple years later.
Wow.
Yeah, luckily they probably got that one warning label on their shit because of that, probably, huh?
Yeah, no, I think the one that came with the warning label was Master of Puppets, and they did it in a humorous way. And this record may contain a couple of curse words here and there, but it doesn't contain words such like this word or that word or this word there. It did that as a basic joke, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was fun there. Because remember, Metallica often has that little sense of humor. You listen to the some of the liner notes of "And Justice for All." They have a few humorous bits there towards the end of the list.
Hey, you guys know the story about how they got started and who was together first?
Yes, it was a Mustaine, Hetfield, Ulrich, and Ron McGovney.
I'm talking before when Metallica was being formed.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Before that, what it was Lars had an ad and was looking for a band, right?
Oh,
and he was a drummer. He was the drummer. Then him and Hetfield, they started talking.
Yeah,
they tried. You know, they wanted to figure out. You know, they needed a guitarist and a bassist and shit, right?
Trying out a few guitarists here and there, you know.
So and the lead guitarist after Mustang or whatever, he was in another band too.
Kurt Hammett was a member of the group Exodus at that time.
Yep. And so they tried him out for an audition after the shit happened with fucking what's his face.
Mustaine, after they booted him out.
Yep. So they needed a guitarist, so then they auditioned with him.
Yep.
And fucking see, I never knew that Kirk was fucking in another band before that.
You know, I knew ahead years before ahead of time. You know, that was another band that was were getting some recognition during that time in the thrash metal scene. Because I understand bands like Exodus, Metallica, and a few others were like the Bay Area at that time was the thrash metal scene before it became the gay scene up there.
The gay scene.
Yeah, because remember, that's all the gay people were all. That's often christened the gay capital of the world because that's where all the gay men and women now live.
Do you really want to hurt me? Do you really want to make me cry?
Oh, gosh.
Fucking fuckboy George, man.
Boy George.
He was such a fag.
Come on my tits.
He was a fucking weird old man.
Of course, when Master of Puppets came out in '86, I was listening to it on a friend's Walkman. I was like, holy shit, when that guitarist bursted after the intro of the first track, Battery, I was like, holy cow. Can you imagine this on a massive speaker with the full bass and volumes? Turn all the way up.
Oh yeah, I could imagine that when I crank my Hyper Boom up. I don't have to imagine it.
Yeah. Of course, at that time, they got to earn a slot as opening for Ozzy Osbourne during his record, The Ultimate Sin, which also went to the top 10. That was a big success as well. Master of Puppets, as we know, was the first thrash metal album to crack the Billboard Top 30.
You know what else was kind of funny about Metallica when they were kind of first starting out is that they wanted them to like be a big hair band. And shit, wanted to wear tight spandex and fucking shit like that. And they were like, fuck you guys. The record label they wanted them to have that kind of an image.
Yeah, they have, but I remember they had this policy through the management and the record label, Elektra at that time, where the management just say stay away from this band, and in return, we will give you hit records and tours and shit.
Yeah,
and it turned out to work pretty well because Metallica didn't want to follow into that hairspray, teased up hair, leather jeans, try to look macho, trying to look sexy and cool for all the chicks. They were not about that.
Nah, they were like I said, they were like, fuck you guys, we ain't changing our image. We don't give a fuck. It kind of costed them a little bit in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because when you get signed to a record label, you're expected to follow along this rule, they follow along with this idea that they throw in it. For example, there was this group called Carcass who got signed to a major label back in around the 1990s. Now, Carcass was one of those grindcore bands that sang about unpronounceable body parts in their lyrics. And when they got signed to Sony Music to do 1 or 2 albums, one of the first things the label contacted them about was, can you possibly change your voice to sound more like James Hetfield by chance? Because the singer would get out there and bark into the microphone during their songs. You
might lose. You might do a lot better.
Yep, and that's how they did it.
Yeah.
But then again, record labels have been known to interfere with a lot of people's, things and that. Look at all the issues with Tom Schultz of Boston. He had issues with CBS Records. They were fucking him over because he was taking too much of a time to do the next Boston record, and the record company was like, "We want that record now."
Yeah.
We want it now, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Loosen up those stretch pants.
That's like Metallica too. I can't remember what album it was, but it took a fucking year for them to fucking make it.
Yeah, I think it may have been the Black Album possibly, because at that time they were going through a lot of issues with one another and their marital status as well.
Yeah, they would like get together and they would only work from like noon to 5 and shit, dude. They were only working like 5 hours a day, and half the time they were showing up like an hour late and shit.
Wow.
And then so they that was part of why it took so fucking long for that album to get made, man.
That's true.
And I think it's fucking weird, like too, like I think Lars, he's been fucking married 3 times.
Damn. Really? That's a trip.
Yeah. He's got 2 ex-wives, and now he's married again.
Wow.
And he was his second wife was a fucking she was going to college to be a motherfucking doctor or something like that. She actually had her shit together, like big time. You know what I mean?
That's up in there, yeah.
But I think their marriage only lasted like 7 years, and then he got rid of her ass.
Wow,
it's
so
like
she dumped him for somebody else, I guess.
Nah, I think it was more him. I think he just trades up for a younger piece of ass.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, like the usual guys do when they get older.
Yes, so I kind of wonder why the hell he even got married. Like,
I don't know.
It seemed like his intentions were never to really stay. He always wanted to have a younger, hotter one. Like the one that he's with now, she's hotter than the second one. She's real tall. Wow. They were both real tall. Like Lars is into tall women. That's one thing I could tell about him is he likes them nice and tall.
Yeah, it's true. That little thing he has. But then again, everybody has a thing for the certain kind of women they like. I mean, Jesse James, Sandra Bullock's husband, all the chicks he cheated on behind her back were massively tattooed.
Mm. Yeah, so they all got certain things that they like about in women, you know what I mean? I think Lars said something about like it's a big pop, like it's a, what did he say? Like it's like it makes him look better having a taller woman next to him. Like he's
no.
So he I don't know if he's got like the small man syndrome or what or what's the deal of why it's like that, but
I don't know, but usually the short guys often get ladies that are shorter than them, so they make them look tall.
See, Lars went the other way with it. Like most of the women the ones that he married, like they're almost around 6 foot. You know what I mean? They're pretty tall. He's into the taller women, but
right. I think the tallest is probably Hetfield, if I'm correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Redneck in chat said she has a penis. That's why he likes them tall.
Well, if you looked at them, they ain't got no penises. They're all women.
Camel toe, baby.
I just was
big ass knuckles, you know.
I was surprised that his fucking second wife, she really, like I said, she really had her shit together, and she was actually modeling too, I think.
Oh yeah.
She was.
But then again,
she was a smart woman. She was a real smart, intelligent woman. She wasn't a dipshit, you know.
Wow.
She wasn't one of these dumbass groupies.
Wow.
And as a matter of fact, she didn't even know who fucking Metallica was, let alone Lars.
Oh wow.
That's what's even crazier about this shit. She had no idea. She said who Lars was or who Metallica was, and Lars was like, I was just sitting over in the corner, and she wouldn't come over and talk to me or nothing like that. Well, she didn't even know who the fuck he was.
You know what song that reminds me of, Minnesota? I'm in the corner. Why don't you see me? Oh.
Yeah, so he's sitting over in the corner with his posse or whatever, and she's already caught his eye. You know what I mean? And he's already thinking about, man, I want some of that, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And he's sitting there wondering why the hell she ain't coming over and talking to him.
Breaking news. Breaking fucking news. Just coming out. Minnesota Vikings fan is showing that he is not a sexual asshole to women. He's actually talking very good about them. I'm very proud.
There you go.
So then Lars eventually, he's like, fuck it. And he goes over, and he kind of gets over by her, and he tries to talk to her or whatever.
Yeah.
It don't really go very well because, like, he's used to chicks just bowing down to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
so
she
this
wasn't.
was like a challenge.
She wasn't though. It was funny. Like I said, she had no idea who the fuck Metallica even was.
Wow.
Which is crazy to think about. And I seen in an interview on Howard Stern.
What music does she listen to on the daily?
Yeah, I don't. How the fuck you can't know who Metallica is fucking beyond me.
I know that's one of the biggest trips. So she probably must have lived in an isolated something there.
Well, I know she lived in New York, so
wow.
I don't know. Like I said, it just is mind-boggling to me.
You know them New Yorkers, yeah. You know what I mean.
Yeah, it's just mind-boggling to me to not know who the fuck Metallica is. You don't know who Lars is. That's just that whole.
That is a trip.
But she seemed like she was telling the truth about the whole thing.
I don't know.
She didn't seem like she was bullshitting. You know.
I'm thinking possibly she must be into a different kind of music. Like whether it's hip hop or classical music or whichever. It probably was told, stay away from those rock stars. They're all devil worshippers. They're all drug addicts and all that kind of stuff. So she probably obeyed that rule.
Well, she also was concentrating on her career, too.
That's true, because models got to do that. They got to keep the focus on what they're doing there.
Well, and getting a degree and being a doctor or whatever.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
She was young. She was in her early 20s, I think.
All right, and how old is Lars right now? Is in it at that time when he met her, was he in his 40s or 30s or older?
Yeah, there was like a 15-year age difference or something like that. So.
That's it.
Wow.
Well, that's pretty good. I mean.
Well, I mean, for a rock star, you know what I mean.
I mean,
yeah.
Like I said, she was a hot piece of ass, though. She really. Howard was all over her.
Howard Stern.
I don't blame him.
He was fucking hitting all over her ass. You guys gotta watch that sometime.
Interesting.
It was funny.
But there should be the full interview on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah, it is. It is.
All right.
And in the beginning, when they're interviewing Lars before he goes in, they're not even showing her or nothing like that. And then, like, when she's in the interview with Howard Stern, she's kind of sitting in the corner. It's kind of funny. Like, it's back to the quarter shit again. Lars can't never get away from that quarter shit.
Quarter? You mean like Tommy?
Corner.
Oh, I thought you said quarters.
Corner.
Oh, I was gonna say like Tommy.
No, in the studio, in Howard Stern studio, it was kind of fucking fucked up for like the second person to be in there, and it was just like I said, she was just kind of huddled in the corner. It looked like she was in a nice tight spot, actually. Like,
oh yeah, big fucking camo knuckle toe, you know.
Oh yeah,
that's true. Now, of course, James Hetfield is, I guess he's still married to his high school sweetheart. I guess Francesca, her name is. I understand.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's been married for a lot of years. I think it was his wife in the past who finally had to put her foot down and say, James, you're going to have to go to rehab. And this was back in 2001 after Newstead left.
And then he was just in rehab not that long ago too.
Yeah, the second time, for I understand, you know. But then again, you also got to remember when you're on the pressures of the road and, you know, touring, trying to outdo yourself, it does get massively straining on you. I mean, like a lot of bands got to try either drinking or drugs, you know, to keep themselves going because you're under a lot of pressure. You got to be on the road 24/7, you know, hardly any time to sleep, this and that.
I mean, if Hatfield's been married to his wife the whole time, since I bet you he's fucking had to have cheated on her.
Yeah, I don't know. That's hard to tell because
I would think at least once.
I don't know. I don't know really the story behind that relationship there. So, of course, he has kids of his own there as well. Yeah. But it's kind of funny is that, wouldn't you say that Hetfield now loves the short hair? He's kept his hair short ever since they cut it back in '96. You know, the only time he's had it long was in '99 during when they did the S&M concert, the first one. And after that, it's back to keeping it short. And he's been keeping it short ever since that, you know. And I think he likes being short, to be honest with you, because
easier to maintain.
Well, and also he's a car enthusiast, so he has a lot of cars in his garage. He collects cars.
That's true.
So he probably likes, you know, having the wind blowing in his hair, not getting all over in his face, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true, because a lot of time, remember I was back at the time, so I was driving back in Michigan. I had to put my hair in a ponytail because a lot of hair would get in my face and my eyes while I'm driving because I had the windows down. None of the cars I had at the time had any AC in them.
Yeah, your AC was, 4 down, 55.
Yeah. And also, something else, speaking of alcohol and drug addiction, you know, the issues between Mustaine and Metallica, we definitely got to touch on that, you know. Many times, you know, they had duked it out, and many times they threw little trades at one another, and a lot of times I know they patched things up a lot of times when they did the Big Four festivals with Slayer and Anthrax in Europe, I understand. But when you look at it, you know, look at the road that Dave Mustaine has went through. I mean, I mentioned many times to you guys that he did about 15 stints in the rehab throughout his career.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Well, me and Vikings fan, we only got 4 stints, so. Is that the kind of stint you're talking about, or
stints in rehab?
Oh, I was talking stints in our heart.
No.
We had like 4.
No, I was talking about rehab, you know, because he had many times, you know, OD'd, many times he had, was incoherent when he was making videos. When he did the cover of Alice Cooper's No More Mr. Nice Guy for that movie Shocker, you know, he was way out of it. I mean, there were a lot of people, a lot of witnesses were coming forward at that time saying how drunk and high he was, you know. And when you think about it, you know, Mustaine, you often talked about the way he was booted out of the group. You know, just we're waking you up, we're sending you back to back home before you even know what the fuck hit you. You know, it's like, and Mustaine was like, wait a minute, no second chance, no reason why, no warning, or what the fuck, you know.
Was he
And
saying
it's-
that with coke on his nose and shit, sniffling it out?
I don't know. I'm not too sure. Like I said, I wasn't there at that time, you know. I
yeah.
only first heard about him when he started his new band, Megadeth, with the signed on a record label called Combat Records, and it was called "Killing Is My Business, His Business Is Good." And that's when we first saw their mascot, Vic Rattlehead, right there on the cover there. But when you think about it, you know, look at all the road of the many addictions Mustaine had went through throughout the years. If he would have not been kicked out back then, he would have later been kicked out later on, no matter regardless.
Yeah,
Because they just said-
he had some. He definitely had some fucking drug issues, man.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
He couldn't keep his shit together.
Uppers, downers, coke, fucking alcohol.
He let being the rock star fucking get to him too quick. You know what I mean?
And plus, I want to understand, if you ever watched the Behind the Music series where they spotlighted on him, a lot of it had to do with his father being physically abusive to him at times.
Well, and then Hatfield lost his parents when he was like 13 or something like that.
Wow,
too.
that's something.
So he had it rough kind of too, you know.
Yeah, that's true as well. A lot of these bands had rough childhoods, you know. That's where they get the idea to get on the stage or write the cartoons that they have.
Yep. Yeah.
That's their form of therapy right there.
Kind of like Twisted Sister. We're not gonna take it.
Yep, there you go. That was to them, you know, singing heavy metal was a better way than going around killing people.
Yep. Like all
Even
these fuckers in schools killing each other, you know, going in schools killing people.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
True.
Yeah, even Nikki Sixx, as I stated before, said that people should be thanking them for playing rock and roll, because if it wasn't for that, they'd be out on the street corner robbing liquor stores.
They'd be in trouble.
Yeah, home invasions too, probably.
And most likely, yeah. Same thing with all these rappers at that time, especially in the South Central area.
Yeah, music can definitely keep you out of trouble and get you on the right road.
Yeah,
it can pull you out of it.
Keep at it, you know.
Yeah, it can pull you out of some shit that you're in.
Or it could pull you in. It depends on the way you do it.
I know that. I get that part.
I know.
You see that a lot of times where bands fucking members and shit destroy themselves.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, there's so many of them in the past that we all know. Keith Moon, he was an addict. He was a massive drinker. He drank a lot, man.
Oh, hell yeah!
You know, Ozzy Osbourne could have been one of them if he didn't all the go to rehab here and there. Because man, he had the alcohol issues by the fucking pound, man.
What did he like drinking? Like vodka and shit?
Well, I guess it was either drop vodka or beer or some things like that. Either way, or whatever it was getting to the point where he even joked about it, saying, let's pour all the booze in the bathtub, give Ozzy a long straw, and he's all set for the whole night.
Have a Wapatui party?
One of those, I think. God knows.
Yeah. You know what Wapatui parties are, right?
No, I don't. Never heard of it.
You pour all different kinds of booze in the tub with like fruit and cut up fruit and fucking shit like that. And then you fucking scoop it in. You scoop your cups in there, and they call that a Wapatui party.
I see. Yeah, there we go. That's something I never heard of until now.
Wow, I thought you would have heard of that. You're kind of
no, we never did.
Oh.
No, we never actually had. I never really attended that much house parties when I was a teenager. I was mostly at home with my stereo, my radio, my cassette players, and my records there.
Yeah, I was just.
I wasn't much of a social guy at that time.
Yeah, I was at home with my G.I. Joes at a very old age. No. No, I was more, when I was in fucking middle school and shit, I always listened to the oldie music, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock rock.
Oh, yeah, the 50s stuff there. The Bill Haley and the Comets right there.
Yep. Hell yeah.
And it's kind of funny that, I got to talk about this, the follower song. When you remember when Nothing Else Matters became a humongous hit on the radio with the orchestra arrangements here and there. I mean, this was an actual ballad when you think about it. And we don't really know what the song was about, but a lot of other thrash bands like Testament and this group here, they were encouraged to follow along with the same thing. But sadly, it didn't really work out.
Well, they're kind of copying like the Beatles, because remember the Beatles back in '69 and stuff. They had a lot of 69, 70 orchestra stuff.
Orchestra arrangements
that they were playing, So that, I mean, I think they kind of started that theme out.
Yeah, but then keep in mind, Metallica were not big fans of the Beatles. They were into Black Sabbath and Angel Witch and other bands there. Merciful Fate, they were close to those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In fact, during the 30th anniversary shows in their home state of California, they invited members of Merciful Fate to join them on stage, King Diamond included.
Damn.
Yeah, and all the little kids out there was wondering, who are these guys? Or who is Merciful Fate? Who's this guy with the demonic makeup here?
Yeah.
I'm like, kids, it's the guys that influenced Metallica. Think about that. Bands like Diamond Head, Budgie. Remember the song Bread Fan? They covered from them.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. You never heard of Budgie?
No.
Oh, it was I guess it was a English rock trio, I guess. They had this album called, I forgot the title of it, but it had their version, the original version of Bread Fan on that release, and Metallica would cover that for the B-side of Eye of the Beholder.
So they're called Budgie?
Budgie, yes,
Budgie.
like the bird.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll have to look them up and take a look at it.
Yeah, Budgie, Bread Fan. Definitely look it up on YouTube there.
Yeah.
And, of course, we can't forget the band Diamond Head with the song Am I Evil?, which Metallica recovered, but they used to cover a couple times during their shows. In fact, there was for a while a limited edition of Kill 'Em All with those two bonus tracks. One of them,
yeah.
of course, yeah.
Yeah, I used to get balls deep in that.
Yeah. Now, of course, Metallica filling all these humongous stadiums and all that with the big production they got, with the big limos, the... Right. If the Metallica of yesteryear were to travel in time to see how they were today, shopping at stores like Marcus Neilman or Nordstorm, how would the old Metallica of yesteryear, how would they react? I was like, oh my God, this is how we're going to be in years from now? What the fuck? Oh gosh. How do you think they would react? Would they react like the way I described it there?
Well, I think going from bars and shit like that to a big auditoriums would be a big dramatic change. I mean, can you imagine going from, hundreds of people to thousands and thousands staring at you? I mean,
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't know if it bothered them, but I think it would have bothered me tremendously. You know?
But my question is how their tastes and opinions would change. I mean, back then I remember reading when Master of Puppets was out that their manager was trying to get them a ride, and they said they did not want no limo. They didn't want no limousine, and the manager was like, bad news, we got to get you a limo. And the guys were like, oh, fuck, because a limo was not their style. And here they are years later in a scene with their videos, I think it was wherever I may roam, where Hetfield is riding in a limo.
Yeah.
I was like, and I can imagine the Metallica of the yesteryear that they had traveled through it into the future, saying like, I can imagine Hetfield be like, oh my God, I cut my hair, holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're more like, Trans Am, Corvette, fucking, Z28, IROCs and shit like that kind of cars, right? Porsches.
Yeah. Yes.
They're kind of that kind of shit, Not
they
fucking limos.
They would freak out at what they would become years later if they were to try and travel into the future there.
Yeah, I seen that one show where what's his name? Fucking Hetfield or
Hetfield. Yeah, James Hetfield. Yeah.
Yeah, where they had like about an hour program where he was in his garage showing off all of his cars and shit.
Yes.
And it was like pretty awesome because he had like 1950 cars, and
Wow.
yeah, he had
That's
all
a car
kinds.
dealership right there.
Yeah, he had like 10, 15 cars in his garage, and he's like sitting there.
Wow.
Yeah, I love tinkering on them. And I built this one. I helped my buddy with this. My buddy helped me on this one.
Wow.
So yeah, he was kind of trying to get mechanically inclined, even though he didn't have his father in his life, for very long. So
I know that Lars Ulrich, I guess, as in displayed in the documentary, some kind of monster. I guess he sells his own art. I understand.
His own what?
His art. I guess he does paintings on the side, drawings, if I'm correct. One of those two.
Huh? Yeah, I'm not. I'm not sure.
Wow. I remember seeing a clip of it one time on when it was on VH1 many years back when I was watching it for the first time.
Hey, Vikings fan, do you know which one does artwork?
No.
No, he doesn't know either.
Oh, okay. So we got to include the bass players. Ron McGovney, who was the original bass player. That he left because of the issues between Hetfield and Mustaine. They were not getting along at that time. They were busting heads left and right. Then they get Cliff Burton, who Burton, by the way, told him you want me to join? You got to move down here to the Bay Area. The metal scene is absolutely booming. And they had no problem doing that at all because L.A. was not treating them with a lot of respect. It was all bands like Motley Crue and such, and Metallica didn't fit into that. So they got into the Bay Area, and next thing you know, that's when they really struck it big.
Huh. So they went up to Seattle then, huh?
No, they went to the Bay Area of California.
Oh, I thought you meant the Bay Area and
Seattle,
to Washington.
No, they're the worst. No, it was all California from start to finish there.
Oh, okay.
I guess, yeah.
I was like, interesting, maybe they knew, maybe they hung out with Nirvana and shit like that,
No, I doubt it very much. I don't think Nirvana was even formed when they were starting out.
Well, yeah, probably not. I don't know.
Yeah. Remember, Nirvana didn't came out until about '89 with that one record whose title I forgot because I was never a fan of them. So, but when you look at, and of course they got Cliff Burton, he only has on three records: Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, and of course Master of Puppets until his death in September of '86. And then we know the whole story. They were They were going to a show. They were on this tour bus, which was not one of the best, where I understand. They had these little bunk beds. I don't know what the heck was going on with the roads in that area, but there was a dirt road. There was some black ice on there, or whichever as the bus driver claimed it was. Burton's window was wide away open. Burton falls out. And the bus he was in just falls on him, killing him instantly.
What hit? What is it with airplanes and buses? I mean, Randy Rhoads, his airplane crashed into the fucking bus.
Yes,
right?
I remember it. Yes,
so what the fuck? Yeah, what the fuck is it with all the buses and the fucking airplane crashes and shit? You know what I mean?
I have no clue. I remember they're not. Let's keep in mind, Metallica was not the only one. You remember singer Gloria Estefan? She had to have back surgery when her tour bus had an accident a couple years later. But I don't know. It's just. And we've seen so many musicians die from plane wrecks, like Stevie Ray Vaughan, the members of Leonard Skinner,
Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly,
Richie Valens,
and the Big Bopper, J.P. Richardson, John Denver as well.
Well, wasn't John Denver? Didn't he hit I thought he died skiing down a slope.
No, that was Sonny Bono.
Oh, yeah, okay. My bad.
Yeah.
Rocky Mountain High, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
John Denver. Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah. Of course, and later on they got Jason Newsted, who was in a band who I understand is from Kalamazoo, Michigan. He later moved to Phoenix, Arizona, hooked up with Flotsam and Jetsam. They did a record called Doomsday for the Deceiver, which was already out by the time he joined Metallica.
Yeah, you know what I noticed, but I don't know if you noticed it or not or whatever. But Cliff, I mean, after Cliff died, the bassist, I'm trying to think of his name here. Do you remember his name?
Which one? The ones I know is Ron McGovney, Jason Newsted,
yeah,
and of course the
Newsted.
one they got. Yeah.
Yeah, Jason Newsted. You know, it kind of seemed like he was always kind of like a black sheep in Metallica. You know, it seemed like they didn't really get along very well. You know, that's what it seemed like to me.
I know they hazed the living hell out of him when he first joined. I think they were taking their anger out on him regarding Cliff's death. You know, they would say things like he was gay, you know, putting him through this ritual, I guess, the hazing, you know. That often gets bringed up a lot of times there.
Yeah, I'm sure that could have a lot to do with it. You know, getting over that death of him.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Hetfield said a couple times in their interview that he would look at Jason and just jamming away with him. He'd be like, who's this guy? Who's this dude, you know? Because they were so used to having Cliff by the right of him when they were performing on stage.
Yep.
And here's this other person, you know, trying to fill in, you know, trying to be his own person, but yet he's filling in Cliff's shoes. And the difference between Cliff and Jason was that Jason used a pick to play, whereas Cliff and Robert Turturro, if that's his last name there.
They fingered it.
Yeah, they fingered it. You know, am I pronouncing his last name correctly? Huriel? Because I have a problem with last names at times.
Yeah, I don't know. Turturro?
Tutorial. I'm a Toriel. If anybody in the chat knows pronunciation, feel free to let me know. Like I said, I've always had an issue with pronouncing certain names and words.
Oh, so, yeah. Same here. You know, shit happens.
You know. Now, do you think now since they got Robert in the group, they have been able to do the track Orion, the instrumental from Master of Puppets, a lot more nowadays. And it's pretty good because it's a good track there. It was one of my favorites from them. You know, I remember bringing that out to a club called The Labyrinth, which is in downtown Detroit. He did with him, he'll mix the DJ there, Charles English. Shout out to him. I hope he's doing well. Haven't heard from him in a long time. He would mix in the remix of Join in the Chant by Neitzer Ebb, an industrial group, along with Orion from Metallica, because both tracks will have the same dance beat there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Vikings? Does it have the same dance beat?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think he's whining over there or something. I don't know. Something's going on.
Vikings, you okay, dude?
No, I'm not.
What's wrong?
Nothing. You guys take over. I'm out.
Oh, he's out.
What the heck? What happened?
I have no idea. He's sitting there pouting. All right, let's go on with the show.
Okay. Well, hope we can find out on the couple of days from now on your show there.
Yeah,
he's all right.
Easy for him to do. He didn't have to do none of the work on all the fucking scenes and shit. It's easy to walk away, you know, when you have nothing involved in it.
Oh. I don't know, something happened. I know those but well.
No, it's when basically he fucking said, "Oh yeah, you know, people can do good things. You know, music can, you know, make you, you know, fall in love and this and that." And I said, "Well, it also can hurt people too." And he's like, "Hey, I know that." Do you remember that? That's why he was whiny.
Yeah. Oh.
So fuck it.
Oh.
It's not my fault. He's fucking a whiner. Fuck him.
Oh. Well, we'll find out. Hopefully, we'll find out. Possibly in a couple of days from now on your show, Real as Fuck TV, which, by the way, I got a plug on the Minnesota Vikings fans' channel, the Real as Fuck TV, a.k.a. MM Vikings fan. Go subscribe to their channel there. Check out their program, Real as Fuck TV, and check out other shows like this one here that you're listening on their channel, Kings of Minnesota.
Yeah, Kings of Minnesota, episode 12, when Vikings fan walks away.
All right, so we'll probably find out what's going on later on.
Oh, we'll find out. We'll find out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hell yeah. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, did you notice how old all the Hedgefield, how old he's starting to look?
I know. Yeah, and I know he's starting to get a gut on him as well. If you've seen without a shirt.
So is that from like the alcoholism, from him?
I don't know, but I guess I understand your metabolism changes when you reach a certain age. We're done with Axl Rose, Pink Floyd's David Gilmour, a couple of members of Deep Purple. They do get a big belly on them. I know Tom Baker, the Fourth Doctor in Doctor Who. He's kind of like bigger as well as a couple other actors from that series like Colin Baker and Peter Davidson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. The big belly. I got a big belly.
Yeah. Actually, what I noticed that Lars Ulrich now is he's starting to go bald on top there. He may be forced to shave his head or get a hair transplant.
Yeah, well, I guess when you start seeing like little rows of fucking hairs growing on top of his head, you'll know you got the fucking plug implant.
Yeah, something like that. Because as of late, we've been seeing him wearing hats and knit caps and everything else.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably what he's doing is hiding the hair implant.
Yeah, or the hair loss. I remember there's only two options that people could do: either shave it all off or wear hats 24/7. I know Michael Schenker. Matthias Yabs of the Scorpions, he's been wearing hats constantly.
Joe Cronin.
Yeah, it's true. He's got a bald spot, I know. He admitted that.
Yeah, I just had to put that out there. Some people that I know, Joe Cronin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ken. No.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about Ken. He's been bald for for when I first started listening to him a couple years back.
Well, hell, we start getting older, I mean, everyone loses their hair, it slowly thins out, you know what I mean, and start receding,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true. But then again, but I'm in my 50s, I still got a full head hair, but who knows, I could probably reach in my mid-60s, and that's when that shit could start.
Yeah, I'm surprised. You don't dye your hair none, do you?
I haven't dyed it in God knows how long.
Damn, I mean, so you don't even got hardly no gray hair or anything.
I'm starting to get a few on the side that's here, near the side where the sideburns usually rest.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, and it's starting to show on the top as well.
Well, that's not bad for being, 50, you know what I mean?
I know. And I'm probably going to cut it pretty soon, because it's getting unmanageable. It's getting in my way a lot of times, here and there. I don't want to get it massively short. Like, I'm going to get it something like, kind of like what Hetfield had in 2003 during the when Saint Anger came out.
Oh yeah, I had that record. I bought a record of Saint Anger.
How was that record? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Or were you pissed off at it? Or what? Because so many people condemned that record when it came out because there was no guitar solos. The snare drum sounded like a tin can. And I guess at that time they were trying to follow along with all these new metal groups like Deftones, Limp Bizkit, and all these other bands were emerging up there. What did you think of that record?
I mean, I would say it was probably one of their worst records, but I mean, I liked it,
Yeah.
It kind of was. They're kind of going away from their norm, with that record that they're doing.
The thrash style.
Yeah, it was more, yeah, you could tell it was a whole different. Like they're trying to
try new things.
Try new things on, vocals and guitar and drums and all that stuff, and trying to see how people would like it. And I don't think a lot of people liked it, so they kind of went back to their originals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like they do with Hardwired and Death Magnetic.
Yeah.
I know they were saying the exact same thing about Load and Reload back in 96 and 97. When they first cut their hair, they sounded a lot more mature. They were trying. they had this little almost near country ballad called Mama Said on Load, and a lot of people were getting upset at them because not only with the hair was cut, but the sound was a lot more less thrashy, less fierce. But at the same time, you got to remember, if you keep sounding the same after album after album after album after album after album, you're going to become what I mentioned as a self-parody. You tend to stagnate. You sound the same. I mean, AC/DC, for example, every record they put it out sounds the exact same. After a while, it gets kind of tiresome. Yeah, it's good jams out there, but you need something new. You need to do something different.
Well, that's like with Ozzy Osbourne when he came out with "Mama, I'm Coming Home."
Yes.
You know, kind of changed away from how he was playing a lot of music. You know, it was kind of a different type of melody than he was used to playing. You know, and
yes.
I really like that song that he played. You know, it was a change
good song.
Yeah. So. Yeah, you know, I can see, you know, become a parody because you keep playing the same type of stuff over and over again. But, you know, I mean, I don't know. I think they've been doing pretty good, you know. I mean, in the long run that they've been a group together, you know.
Yeah, that's true. But speaking of Ozzy ballads, don't forget So Tired from Bark at the Moon and, of course, Goodbye to Romance, the first song you wrote with Randy Rhoads from the Blizzard of Oz album.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
There was this one ballad you'll remember, Changes, that he did with Black Sabbath there. That's still a timeless classic there with the Mellotron.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very eerie Mellotron, I should probably say.
Yeah, actually that's like the, you know, Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath was, you know, the first group, the first heavy metal group that I really listened to. Back, my dad had 8-track of Paranoid.
Yeah.
You know, so I basically recorded it on my cassette tape off of the 8-track, and then I'd sit there and listen to it. And Iron Man, you know, I was playing guitar back when I was like, you know, 11, 12 years old, and I was like learning how to play Iron Man, you know, just by listening to it. So that was like the first guitar song that I learned to play. I mean, not the right chords probably, but it sounded pretty good, you know.
I see, yeah. I know my first Black Sabbath 8 tracks was Technical Ecstasy and Sabotage.
Ah.
And plus, got me the first Black Sabbath album on the vinyl there after borrowing a friend's cassette of the same album, and that's what really got me into them.
So, like, when you play, like, a lot of your songs, do you play, like, in the G or C or?
In the terms of Black Sabbath or any song? Well, usually I try to play the original is how that sounds there, but oftentimes I often like to do the songs in the different chords just to see how these sound, you know?
Yeah, are you the type that read songbooks, or do you sit there and listen to the song kind of like me? And...
I kind of like listen to the songs. Yeah. That's how I usually do it. Or learning by ear. That's how it was called.
Yeah, you're a more hands-on person than more visual. You know, you're hands-on.
Yes, correct, yes.
That's how I am, too. I'm a left-handed person, so I learned how to play right-hand guitar as a lefty.
Ah, nice. That's good. Very people are able to do that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I started out, you know, playing left-handed, you know, and then because I was like 6 years old, I had acoustic guitar, and I ended up having to have brain surgery. I mean, there's not a lot of people. Yeah, I had spinal fluid coming around my ears and stuff, and and I went in, and then when I got out, I had to learn to re-speak and learn to rewrite. And I was right-handed, and then I became left-handed. So, you know, it was kind of like a whole new learning experience.
Wow. That's something there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, let's not also keep in mind Black Sabbath or one of the main influences, excuse me, I belch here, one of the main influences that Metallica cites as their one main influence. I remember hearing this story that Ozzy was telling in the interview that a lot of times on stage during their opening stint with Ozzy, Metallica will often go into these Black Sabbath riffs and jams now and then. And at one point, Ozzy confronted their management and said, "Why are they playing all this Black Sabbath stuff?" And he just told them, "Hey, you and Black Sabbath influenced these guys, and they're paying homage to you."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like
Go ahead.
Eric Clapton, how he plays guitar?
Yeah, he had played some pretty good licks there. I'm enjoyed most of his stuff that he did with Cream, than the other stuff. I know the Eric Clapton I kind of like. We got so used to for many years was the Balladeer with Tears in Heaven, My Father's Eyes, and Change the World.
It's Wonderful Night.
Yeah. That's the one that often gets played on the radio a lot of times, But let's not forget the song Cocaine, which was originally written by a guy named J.J. Cale. The song like After Midnight, Leia, which he wrote for George Harrison's wife at that time.
So they wrote that one when he was in Cream, right?
Layla?
Yeah. No, I mean Cocaine.
No. No, that was written by somebody else.
Oh.
It was covered by a guy. It was originally written and performed by a dude named J.J. Cale, C-A-L-E, and Clapton covered it on one of his records and became a Clapton stable since that.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if Metallica was influenced by Clapton, but it's safe to say that he influenced a lot of guitar players. But speaking of covers, Garage Incorporated, Garage Inc., the covers record. They covered Black Sabbath. They covered Merciful Fate. They covered the Bob Seger's Turn the Page. And if you ever saw the video of that song, that video will depress you. That's for damn sure, because it features former porn actress Ginger Lynn as a single mom, trying to do all these stints, prostitution, pole dancing at a strip joint, to earn money for herself and her kid there.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, and the last one was where the guy beats her up and she's lying on the bed with a black eye, depressed look on her face, and the daughter comes over and comforts her at the very end, and that kind of depressed me. That kind of made me angry.
Yeah, Ginger Lynn, she fucking fell off.
Yeah, no, she's kind of heavy now. I understand, but then again, she's in her 50s as well. So, as we were mentioning, your body starts to change around that age.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you can't see your penis anymore when you're taking a piss. No.
Oh yeah. Well, Tommy and Bullfrog have that issue. There's no doubt about that.
Where's the quarters? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder which one of them weighs more, Bullfrog or Tommy.
I bet you Bullfrog, because he looks a lot more heavier. I saw this one video where he's prancing around his living room, and it's just like, holy cow, dude.
Well,
lose the damn weight.
Bullfrog says he weighs 275.
And how much does Tommy say he weighed?
I'm not sure, because Tommy's supposedly been losing weight.
All right. Yeah, I saw that little thing he did with his friend Ashley. I'm sorry, Ashley. You need to go in the gym as well, girl.
Go to gym as well, girlfriend.
It's like her stomach area has a mouth of its own.
Yeah, I had a fupa.
I know. Gosh.
Fupa.
Right.
You know what that is, right?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Fat upper pussy area.
Yep.
Oh, shit, dude. Damn.
That's a fupa.
Damn. Don't tell this to Joe Cronin, because he'll probably use that when he talks about Ashley. He'll talk about Ashley Fupa hereafter.
He'll start calling her Fupa.
Say oopa, fupa.
Fupa dee foop.
I got a fat upper pussy area, fupa.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to probably end this show at about 10 more minutes here, since it's about a few more. It's about 10 minutes close to midnight here, and I'm going to be heading to bed pretty soon. We wanted to come on here and pay our homage to the Mighty Met, as we often call them. So did Metallica get how much did they generate for their foundation, the All Within My Hands Foundation? And I guess the purpose of that is to start feeding America. People have been stricken by the COVID-19 virus. So I guess they're gonna. Can you explain that for me? What they're doing? If it's did they accomplish their goal there with that?
Well, each video had a donation goal.
Yes.
So
I remember seeing that there a lot.
There were different amounts, and yeah, I'm not sure how much they generated altogether.
But you got to give it up to them for doing their part, to help those out in need,
Yeah.
They've been advertising a lot that on their Facebook stories here and there. A lot of times I got in their, I guess on Twitter as well.
Well, that's the thing about it. The concerts they were showing, they're individual concerts, I think, that you could buy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Including cunning stunts, the video there.
Yeah.
And boss, we were talking about this, on your show there. They were talking about the end of during the end of Enter Sandman, where everything starts falling apart, crackles in the equipment here.
Yeah.
A guy runs all around on the stage drenched in flames.
Yeah, he gets burnt. He's running across the stage on fire.
Think about that. Like, how the hell does that happen?
And then there's that thing hanging, big fucking set of lights or whatever hanging up, and it falls on the side. And
yes. And by the way, as I reported to you guys, all that was set up, not really happening.
Yeah, I don't understand what the fuck they were thinking back then about doing that kind of shit. Like,
I don't know, but I guess it's a little bit kind of like a dramatic end to the performance there. I guess you could think it's been a show,
Well, they made it look pretty good.
Yeah, they did. It made it look realistic. I was like, when I first saw the whole show, the video, the whole concert on VH1, it was like, oh, holy cow, what the hell is happening here? And next thing you know, we find out that, wait a minute, this can't be real. Is it real? Is it not real? Or what the heck?
I guess what the fucking dead giveaway was the way Hatfield was acted.
Yeah, that's true.
Because at first I thought it was real, but the Hatfield's just like acting like it's no big deal. Like the show goes on. And I was like, wait a minute.
I know there was one point where he bowed right down, covered himself when the flashes were going out there, because you remember what happened in '92 in Montreal when that show with Guns N' Roses, where he got severely burned when you stand next to a flame pot.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of, they're pretty fucking lucky when they were doing them stunt stages that nothing ever happened to them.
I guess they had to choreograph how this is done, how that's done. You got to do that when it comes to flame pyrotechnics and flame pots and shit, because from what I understand, that shit could be hot enough to burn metal.
Yeah.
And so you can imagine what it does to the human skin there.
I mean, and then how they went on and they kept playing, and they kept playing, and they just turned on that lights up above them, and all of a sudden these lights are just there, and there's just one big spotlight kind of behind them. I mean, it was well thought out. You could tell that it wasn't like fucking, but they were using professional stunt.
Yeah, stunt equipment.
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. They had pros that set that whole stage up. And
absolutely.
Fucking, they're like, oh, ain't nothing gonna happen to you guys. Don't worry, it's gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, I never heard of them getting hurt from that. Did you?
No, nobody. Let alone any crew members or audience members.
Well, the last pyrotechnic injury thing that I remember is when Warrant was in that bar and the pyrotechnics started the.
No, that was Great White.
Oh, Great White. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, the station in Rhode Island.
Yep, and it killed all them people.
Yeah, 99 people dead. And the big mistake is that, number one, you don't put pyrotechnics in a small venue like that, let alone next to any curtains.
Yeah.
So whoever came up with that idea was a total idiot.
Yeah. They must have been some amateurs.
Most likely, yeah, because bands like that no longer can afford professionals. I mean, like, for instance, the band Dokken, they have to rely on local sound men for the local bar scenes when they do shows at clubs because they're unable to afford the sound men of their own.
Wow.
Yeah, because that's how a budget these bands have to be. They have to watch the budget there.
it makes me wonder how the fuck with the corona and shit. What are they gonna do for these concerts? You know,
I know.
I mean, when
well, I did.
is
well, I
it
did
ever
mention-
gonna fucking? Is
Go
it
back
ever
to
gonna go
normal?
back to fucking normal, or is this fucking what? It's over with. You know what?
I don't know. I do not know. No, I'm thinking about what Chris Jericho and his band Fozzy did in, I guess, in North Dakota, the biker rally in Sturgis. They did a show, and there was nobody social distancing, let alone wearing masks. And I know he got a lot of heat from that
I
for
bet.
performance.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet he did.
You know, we don't now. If there's anybody of those who went to that show all mushed up together who are testing positive for Corona V, God knows they'll know better then,
that
because it's still here.
that's
It's still here. It
that's-
hasn't gone anywhere yet.
that's what I'm saying. When's the day gonna happen again where you're gonna see 80,000 fucking people watching?
Well, the only option I can think of, and I discussed it in the recent video I did about the Thunderdome that WWE has set up
Yeah.
there. They can have fans pay a certain amount of money to to be in attendance from the comfort of home to watch the show on their computer or laptop or whichever their TV screen there,
see,
or play PS4, whichever there.
I thought maybe Vince would be a nice guy and rent people the Thunderdome.
Yeah, that's
You know
true.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Since it's
Yeah.
already built and it's there and shit.
yeah, they
You
could
know?
at least make money as well.
Yeah,
As well.
they could
And plus-
they could make extra money on copping back their money that they spent to make the Thunderdome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now the big question about that is, do you think AEW would do that pretty soon in the venue that they're doing, the Daly's Place?
They could. I mean, they could. They could if they want to. I mean, and the AEW's got plenty of money.
Yeah, it's true. They're
So-
getting that up there. They're already selling the little toy belts and the little toy squared circles, and at the nearby Walmart that I was in earlier today. If you notice.
Nah, I didn't know that. But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
they-
I mean, I feel like AEW is here to stay, and they're not going to be disappearing anytime soon.
That's good because because a lot of times, I don't want to stray from the subject here, but you got to give it up to AEW for allowing them, the performers, to be themselves, whereas the WWE is telling them, writing stuff for them. They're supposed to say that. All I can say is to Tony Khan, don't do the same thing Vinnie Mac did, and get into the stock trade, go public, because that's what really killed off the creativity right then and there.
Yeah, yeah. I see. I was gonna say about the Thunderdome. It looked like a fucking laser light show.
I know, it was like but at least, like I said earlier in the show, the wrestlers and the superstars are able to interact with the audience once again.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas whereas the performance center, they're only able to interact with the rest of the NXT staff and whoever else is behind that glass or plastic wall separating the wrestlers and the crowd.
See, what I kind of liked about it was the entrances, because they would be able to use the virtual reality screens of all the
Yes.
fans. That was integrated into the entrances. So that part was kind of cool too, because I'd never seen that before. Nobody
I know.
had.
Yeah,
They
and by the way-
they never had screens all around the audience like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know.
And they used a program and they put it all together, and it was pretty neat, man. When they did do that, because not all the entrances they used the virtual reality screens.
I know.
But
I was thinking about, as I mentioned earlier on in the video I did about this, bands like Metallica, Kiss for their End of the Road tour that they were supposed to end the tour for throughout this whole year. The reunion tour of Motley Crue with Def Leppard and Poison. Maybe they could probably do the same thing. But then again, however, the cost, the ticket prices will probably be expensive as well to cover all the TV screens and all the other stuff that comes along with it there.
Yeah. Like I say, I wonder how much money Vince cranked out to build that fucker, man.
I can imagine it's in the multi-thousands. I'll bet you right now, dude.
Well, I think it was more than. I think They
Probably
probably
more
cost
than
$1
that.
million, honestly. Man, because they had to build wraparound screens all the way around it.
I know.
And
That is
row
a
after,
trip to
and
watch.
I would say there was probably 10 rows at least of
Now,
screens.
you think of maybe both NASCAR and all these sports arenas can do the same thing, like Dodger Stadium or
Yeah, but do you know what fucking kind of money that would take to set that up?
I,
They got
there would be
don't they? They'd pretty much have to take all the seats out first, right?
maybe so, maybe yes. You know what? I'm gonna look this up. You know, how much did the Thunderdome cost
Oh,
WWE?
I'm sure it's got at least $1 million plus price tag on it. I would say
Yeah.
maybe two
I have-
million, maybe 2 million.
Let's, all right, the Thunderdome, not the. What does the Thunderdome mean? What they're talking about?
Not the Thunderdome Mad Max.
No, that's
Tina
what they're.
Turner.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah, I figured
That's
that. I figured. I think that's a weird name too that they came up with. I think it's
Yeah,
odd. I think I don't know. I don't know what they could have came up with, but I just thought it was weird that that's what they called it.
let me see here. I'm looking at the one of the page websites right now. Here, should be coming up on the screen pretty soon. Here. Okay, let's see. What is it? Dang gummit. What is the WWE Thunderdome? Is it available globally? How do I have to register? You know, does it cost money to participate? No, it's free. Wow, that's something there. I figure fans will be charged of some sort, probably $9.99, the same amount for the WWE Network there. How do I access
Well,
it?
they're probably trying to get it going right now, and then they are going to charge for it. You watch.
Yeah, that's true. Most likely. Yeah, they
now,
got
now that everybody got to see it, you know what I mean?
that's true here.
I bet you
I
they
know.
will charge.
I'm looking at it. It doesn't even mention how much does it cost.
They're not giving you a price tag on it. Huh?
No, yep, right now on this web page here, and it says here that can WWE remove me from the Thunderdome, and they do reserve the right to remove you at any time. Your behavior while participating must be and appear to be appropriate and respectful at all times.
That's what I was wondering about. If somebody just lit up a joint or something, fucking right
Yeah.
on the screen.
No inappropriate language or clothing, no violence, no profanity, no nudity, no off-color remarks, no third-party brand or political messaging. Yeah, but are you allowed to show up or show an image of Chris Benoit?
Come check out Real as Fuck TV every Thursday at 6.
Yeah, they'd pull you off the screen right after that.
Yeah, they did. They
I
actually
think.
did that last night, what I understand. It was displayed on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, just somebody, I guess that, I don't know if the cameras caught it or what it was, but it was shown on Twitter. Somebody had an image of Chris Benoit wearing a hat watching. I don't know if it was from a photo or a sign or whichever it was, but it was there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So I don't know what it was all talked about on Twitter a couple times there. All right. So hopefully you'll probably see bands like, as I mentioned, Metallica, Kiss, Crew, all those bands. It would be nice. It'll also be, even though they're not really there, but they're virtually, but at least they're there to check out the bands. It'd be nice for the bands to interact with the crowd or either way.
One thing I know, one thing I've seen is they built the Thunderdome at the Amway Center.
Amway Center, and that's located in Amway.
Amway.
And that is located in what city and state that is in? Florida, I think it is, where the Performance Center is located.
Orlando, Florida.
Ah, okay. And I guess Daly's place where AEW tapes their shows now is located in the same state. I guess the same area.
Yeah, that's where the Performance Center is.
I see.
See,
yeah.
that's I think ain't that where AEW is too? Is in Florida?
I'm not too sure. I have to really
pretty
look it
sure.
up again there, where it's the company it's based up there. All right.
I'm pretty
But-
sure.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay,
it seems like they're really trying to not let us fucking. They're not trying to release the price tag on it.
They're probably afraid to, I guess, at this point, But like you said, they'll probably start charging it later on. I guess when this whole thing starts getting good, like they do everything else.
So are they doing like Raw and SmackDown in the Thunderdome too?
Yes, they're going to be doing that, and as well as their pay-per-view events, like they did. I guess they're going to be doing it with the upcoming Payback this coming Sunday.
Yeah,
and
there's another one.
Yeah,
pay-per-view.
and it's of course they did it with SummerSlam this past Sunday there as well.
Yeah, they said there's a WWE Thunderdome application.
Yep. I guess you sign up for it. I guess for free.
Right.
Hang
on, I'm looking at the cost.
Right.
I'm trying to see the cost.
Right.
Because I swear somebody was saying that you did have to pay, like, to be in their system or whatever. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, it's true.
But I don't know if you have to pay for the seats. Like, you just get part of the system once you're in the system.
Yeah. Well, also keep in mind that
I got this much.
Go ahead.
WWE is reportedly paying just $450,000 for 60 days of residency of the Amway Center. So they had to pay that for the rent. So they only rented it? What the fuck? Yeah.
Wow.
They rented it for 60 days.
Wow. So they're gonna have to, and after that, they're gonna have to do the Thunderdome in a different venue, I'm presuming.
Yeah, that might be what it is. They're maybe gonna move it around.
Maybe so. Who knows? It'd be nice. Like I said, it'd be nice. It is a good setup there. Because, like I said, the previous times, the thing they were doing at the Performance Center was getting way boring.
Yeah, they knew they had to do something.
Yeah, they do it. People want to interact again, but they're still cautious of the COVID-19 there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I do suggest a lot of bands, like all the bands I mentioned, start doing the same thing when they do shows. They could probably do the same way that I'm getting tongue-tied here. Excuse me, folks. The way the WWE is doing their shows there.
WN Leafy.
Yeah. You know what? It says Eric Bischoff is the one that kind of discussed the WWE new Thunderdome concept.
Yeah, so I see he's back with the company again there.
So he's the one that kind of thought of that, huh?
All right, wow. So props up to Eric Bischoff for such an interesting and good idea there. Another Detroit native.
Yeah, he has a good mind for creative.
Yeah, it's true.
When he wants to, but then he comes up with some fucked up shit too.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard to fucking find a price tag of what this shit costs.
I don't think they're really released it just yet. They'll probably have to go on some other underground site to find out for shizzle what's going on, how much that all costs.
Yeah, true.
All right. I think I would probably end the show here, folks. Definitely we'll probably discuss more on your show, Real Swag TV, every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time on your channel there.
Yeah, we'll see you Thursday night, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's right. This is our salute to Big Mighty Met, myself, Minnesota Vikings fan, Minnesota Silver Roll. All right, thank everybody for watching the show there, and you guys have a good one. We'll see this Thursday night on their show, Real Swag TV.
Hell yeah.
Folks, you have a good one. Bye-bye.
Later.
Yep.